This is what your scripts probably look like right now, and this is what they're going to look like after you apply the scripting trick that I'm about to teach you in this video. Alright, so first let's script it without the trick, and then I'm going to show you how to do it with the trick. So all you're going to do is first create a part. So you're going to click on home, and then you're going to click on part, and then click the scale tool. And actually what I might do is go into properties and then set the size to 3. So it's going to be 333. And if you don't see this properties or this explorer window, then just X, and click on view, explorer properties. So you're going to have your part selected, and you're going to set the size to 333. And then I'm just going to move it up a little bit. And then now let's start scripting. All right, so what I want you to do is I want you to add a script onto server script service, and I want you to rename this part to, let's just call it awesome part, just for an example. So what we're going to do now is we're going to basically, I want this part to grow to 666. So right now it's at 333. I want to double its size. So after 1 second, I want it to go to 6, 6, 6, boom. So I want that to happen after 1 second. And basically, this is pretty easy. So first, let's get this awesome part. So we're going to say local awesome part equals workspace.awesome part. And basically what this means is let awesome part be this awesome part, which is inside of workspace. All right, awesome. So now we just want to get this thing to grow after 1 second. So after 1 second, we want to set this thing's size to 6, 6, 6. And it's really simple. All you're going to do is actually, instead of 1 second, let's do 2 seconds. Task.wait2. So that line right there, this means wait 2 seconds. And then awesome part dot size equals vector3.new 6, 6, 6. So we have our awesome part, and then 2 seconds later, we just get its size to become 6, 6, 6. And that will basically double it. So now if I click on home and I click on this right here and I click on run, you'll see that after 2 seconds, boom. Okay, I was a little bit early there, but let's try that again. All right, so after 2 seconds, boom. Okay, there we go. All right, so this is how you'd probably do it before you learn about this trick that I'm about to teach you, which is called Tween service. Now, if you've never ever heard about Tween service before, you're in the right spot, because I promise you that if you just continue watching this video, this is going to be like, basically it's going to be the coolest thing you've ever learned. It's going to be the coolest thing that you've ever learned when it comes to Roblox scripting. So whenever I'm coaching people on scripting and I teach this, I always see everyone go, whoa, after they learn this, because this is literally like the most handy thing ever if you're a scripter. So just keep watching, and I promise you that this is going to be worth it. All right, so first up, I'm just going to type a whole bunch of stuff, and I'm not going to explain anything. And then it's going to work, and then I'm going to explain it to you, because I think that's going to make a lot more sense than me just trying to explain it step by step by step. So I'm going to be right back. I'm just going to go ahead and type out everything. All right, I'm back, and as you can see, I've written so many lines of code compared to what we had before. And I know you're probably thinking, you're probably looking at this and you're probably thinking, whoa, how am I ever going to understand all of this? Don't worry. So I just want you to dislike the video right now. So go ahead and click on dislike. Not many YouTubers are going to tell you to do this. Just dislike the video right now. You can pause the video and dislike it. And then I want you to watch the rest of this video. And then if you can understand what all of this means by the time that you finish watching this video, I want you to change that dislike to a like. So this is me like fully committing, like I'm going to teach you this. So just dislike the video and then just continue watching. By the end of this video, you're going to be able to look at this and go like, oh, that's what that means. Oh, that's what that means. But for now, after you've disliked the video, let's continue watching now. So now, if I click home and I click on run, watch this. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Ooh, saw that? That's a really neat transition. All right, let's look at this again. This is really smooth. Ooh, I really like that. So that is what Tween service allows us to do. And the beauty of it is that it's really simple. It just looks a little complicated, okay? So let me explain this to you now. Line by line, I'm gonna explain this to you. So let's first talk about, or let's just start at line 1. So we have awesome part. Remember awesome part? This is the awesome part that's inside of our workspace. Okay, so we've got this already, right? And now we have this thing called Tween service. So what is this Tween service thing? Well, Tween service, you can think about this like something that allows you to smoothly animate things using a script. So just like the size thing that we just saw. So see that right there? It starts out small and smoothly it gets animated, right? So Tween service, think of this like a little friend, like a little buddy. And this Tween service is your friend, and it's going to help you get those animations to work. So it's going to help you basically animate animate things smoothly using code, using scripts. So that's what this Tween service is. So just think about this like your friend. So I'm just gonna call this my friend called Tween service. So he's our friend now, okay? Now, for Tween service to do its thing, for Tween service to actually animate things smoothly, we need to tell it some things. So one thing that we need to tell it is tween info. Tween info is going to basically be information about the tween. So what is the tween? Tween is basically an object that allows you to animate things smoothly. So for Tween service to do its smooth animation thing, we need to tell it some things, and that's what tween info is. So you have tweeninfo.new, that means create some more information about the tween. Now we have all of this stuff, which looks a little bit foreign to you, but just don't worry, I'm gonna help you. First thing is this 2 right here. Guess what this 2 means? Can you guess? Here, I'm gonna click run, ready? Okay, what did that look like to you? So think about it. How long did that take? Let me play it again, ready? So it waited 2 seconds, and then look at how long it took. It took basically 2 seconds, right? And that's exactly what this 2 means. This is how long do you want your smooth animation to take? And this is just 2 seconds. So what do you think will happen if I set this to maybe 10? Oop, let me just set this to 10 right here. What do you think is gonna happen? So we have 10. All right, here we go. If you guessed it correctly, as you can see, it's going to now take 10 seconds to do this crazy, really smooth animation. So now that whole entire animation takes 10 seconds. So this is the duration. This is how long you want your animation to take. So I'm just gonna set it to 2. And then this stuff right here, this can get a little bit complicated. This is basically like how you want the animation to behave. So if you're an animator, you're probably familiar with easing styles and easing directions. This is like the behavior of your tween. And for you, if you're a complete beginner, I recommend just set this to cubic and set this to out. Later in this video, I'm going to explain this in a little bit more detail, but let's continue. And then now we have our actual tween. So at this point, we have our friend Tween service. We've told Tween service, okay, I want you to take 2 seconds and I want you to do it in this kind of way, in this easing style called cubic, and this kind of easing direction called out. And now we need to tell Tween service to actually create the tween. So we have the friend here, we have information here, but we need to tell it to like actually create the tween. So now you're going to your friend Tween service and you're saying, hey Tween service, could you create a tween for me? And remember, a tween is just like a smooth animation. So hey Tween service, could you create a smooth animation for me? And then Tween service is like, okay, well, what kind of animation do you want? It wants some information about your tween. So it wants more information. So the first thing that it wants is, what do you want me to tween? What do you want to animate? That's what we have right here. This is the awesome part. So what do I want to animate? I want to animate the awesome part. Okay, can you also tell me more information about your tween, like the duration and how you want it to animate? Yeah, that's tween info. So the first thing is the thing that you want to animate. The second thing is more information about the animation. So this tells me, oh, I want it to take 2 seconds. I want it to animate in this way. And then the third thing is the properties table. So this thing right here is like, what exactly do you want me to animate? So I basically told it, okay, can you just set the size to 6,6,6? And then that's how we have our tween right here. Okay, so I know that was a lot. I'm just gonna break it down again. So from line 1, we have our awesome part. Then we have our friend Tween service. Then we have information about the tween, that's tween info. We told it, I want you to take 2 seconds to do it, and I want you to do it in this way. And then we said, okay, can you actually create the tween for me now? So hey Tween service, you're my friend, can you actually create the tween for me? And then Tween service is like, okay, who's going to get tweened? What is going to get tweened? Well, it's going to be the awesome part, which is this thing right here. That's the thing that we're tweening. Can you give me more information about the tween? Yeah, that's your tween info. That's this thing right here. And then can you tell me what exactly it is that you want to tween? So this part handles the 2 seconds and the easing style and easing direction, but now we need to tell it exactly what we want it to tween. So that's going to be the size. So we want to tween this thing, we want to tween it like this, and we want to tween these things specifically. We want to animate. So whenever I say tween, just think about it like me saying animate. So we want to animate the size to 6,6,6, just like what we did before. And then we have a 2 second wait, and then we finally tell the tween to actually play. So this is going to actually make the tween play. And that's it. One more time. Here's the awesome part. Here's the friend called Tween service. Here's the information about the tween. I want you to take 2 seconds. I want you to do it like this. here's the actual animation itself. So you're telling your friend to create a tween. I want you to tween the awesome part. I want you to take 2 seconds. I want you to do it in this kind of way. And then I want your size to go to 6,6,6. And then 2 seconds later, we play it. And that's all it takes. Now you click run, and then boom, 2 seconds later, as you can see, it grows. And now I want you to see how this is going to be so powerful. So now let's say, okay, so let's say that you also want this thing to fade out. So you have your transparency. Remember, to get this thing to disappear, we just need to get this transparency and go all the way up to 1. This is how you do it. It's so simple. Now all you got to do is you got to do comma transparency equals 1. And now you've told the tween, I want you to grow to 6,6,6, and I want you to fade at the same time. And now when I click on run, watch this. Boom. See how clean that was? Like, it's so simple, and it's all because of your friend called Tween Service. All right, so now hopefully you understand a lot more than you did before. So now if you dislike the video, go ahead and change it to a like. And now let's continue. So make sure you like the video now, and then let's continue. So now what I want to do is I kind of want to teach you a little bit more about this part right here. So you already know how to do this table here. So this is your goals. So I want the size to go here. I want the transparency to go here. And I want to teach you more about these guys right here. So this is like how you want the animation to behave. So we already have our 2 here. Remember, this is like the duration. So if I set this to 9, it's going to take 9 seconds to tween. So as you can see, it's a lot slower now. And it's very, very smooth. And now let's talk about these guys right here. So this is easing style and easing direction. So I'm just going to, here, let me just get rid of these. And I'm just going to type it out with you. So let's say that we want to create our tween info. So we have local tween info equals tweeninfo.new. All right, how long do you want this tween to take? Maybe 4 seconds. Okay, now your tween info needs to know the easing style. This is like how you want the style of the animation to behave. So we have enum.easing style dot. Now here are all of your options. So you can choose anything you want. I'm just going to show you like bounce, for example. And then we have easing direction. So these are all different properties that you can choose from. So maybe I want it to go in. So now I have 4 seconds, and instead of cubic, we now have bounce, and instead of out, we now have in. And I want you to see what this does. So this is like how you want the animation to behave. Look at that. It's bouncing. Boom. It's really cool. It's really cool. So as you can see, by manipulating these things, maybe we want elastic, we can actually get different results for our animation. And this is a lot of fun. This is like my favorite thing to teach. Look at that. Look at that. And this is how your favorite developers create really, really awesome things. They mess around with tween service. What if we set this to 10? Well, now we have an elastic kind of animation that takes 10 seconds. And as you can see, here we go. Look at that. It's like elastic, but it's slowly, oh my God, look at that. It's slowly doing its thing. And it's really, really cool because Roblox figures all of this out for you. All you need to tell it is, I want tween service. I want this information about the tween. And here's the actual tween. Here's what I want to happen. And then just play the tween at the end. Don't forget to actually play the tween at the end, because I know a lot of people forget this. All right, so now what do you think I have to do? I'm just going to give you a quick exercise here. What do you think? I'm going to set this to ease out cubic because I really like ease out cubic. It's just really, really pleasing for me to see. So what should I do if I want this tween to, let's say instead of getting this part to grow to 6,6,6, I want this part to grow to, or shrink. I want this part to shrink to 1,1,1. Where do I have to change it? Just pause the video and then tell me, just try to like think about it to yourself. So I want this part to, instead of going to 6,6,6, I want it to go to 1,1,1. So pause the video, try to figure it out on your own. I'm gonna count to 5. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right. So hopefully by now you've already paused the video and you've already figured out what you have to do. Here's what you have to do. You just have to change this line of code. So instead of going to 6,6,6, we just go 1, 1, 1. And if you're able to figure that out, awesome. Make sure you change your dislike to a like now if you haven't already. And let's try it out. Ready? Watch this. Ready? Boom. Here we go. And there you go. It shrank. And then what if I don't want this transparency thing anymore? What if I just don't want it to fade out? Well, then I can just get rid of this. And then now it's just going to shrink. just like that. And you're probably wondering, why is it jittery? Well, that's because I probably should have anchored it. So now it won't be as jittery. So now you can see it's just going to shrink, and it's nice and smooth, and it uses that awesome easing style and that awesome easing direction. All right, so I do want to show you a few more things that is going to help you understand this thing, okay? So hopefully by now you've already understood all of this. So like, if I point to something, you can kind of tell me what it means, right? Like, what if I pointed to this? Then you know it's the duration. What if I pointed to this part right here? This is how you want the tween to behave, right? What if I pointed to this part? Well, these are your goals. Like, what do you want the tween to do? So now let me show you some other cool things. So because we can put basically any property here. So we have like size we can put. Well, we can't put any property. We can put most properties here. So we have size. What if we want to instead change the reflectance? So we have this part. So far, we've been changing the size. What if we just want this to to reflect itself? So I want it to go from 0 to 1 smoothly like that. Do you know how I do that? I want it to like literally just go like that. What do I have to change? I just want you to pause the video, think about it for yourself. I'm gonna count to 5. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, now hopefully you've paused the video, you've thought about it. So basically what you have to do is you just have to get rid of this and instead just put reflectance equals 1. That's it. Because we want this awesome part's reflectance to go from 0 to 1. So all we gotta do is tell Roblox, okay, I want the, the awesome part's reflectance to go to 1. And that's it. So now when you click on F8 or, just run your game, watch that. Boom! See how smooth that was? It smoothly went from 0 to 1 reflectance, and it's really, really cool. And you can actually combine this. Like I said before, we can actually make this grow really, really big and reflect at the same time. Ready? Watch this. Ready? Boom! See how smooth that was? Like, imagine all the possibilities with this. You can create like ice wall attacks. You can create all sorts of things using this awesome thing called Tween Service. And that's why I wanted to teach this to you today, because this is my favorite thing to teach. All right, so the last thing I kind of want to teach you is, so we already know how to do the reflectance and the size. I want to show you that we can also do it with color. So with color, it's going to be a little bit, well, it's going to be similar. So let me just get rid of this. So with color, let me actually use this one. So with color, let's say I want this to go from gray to red, and I wanted to do it smoothly. So I want it to go to 255, 0, 0. So this one you might not understand as much if you've never like played around with color before. But basically, you can go color equals, and then we need a color 3.from RGB. So just like size needs a vector 3, color needs a color 3. And then this from RGB means like you want to give it a color based on red, green, blue. And so the color here for really red is going to be 255. So 255, 0, 0. And now I'm going to get rid of this size part just to show you. And now I'm going to set this part's brick color to black. So it's going to start out. It's going to start out at this black color, and it's going to slowly go to red. And now watch this. This is going to be really cool. Ready? From black all the way really smoothly, it goes to red, and it works perfectly fine. See how awesome this is? And now we can actually combine this with size. So now we can make it change its color and increase its size at the same time. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Boom! It's really fun. This is a lot of fun. This is like, you guys have no idea how much fun this is. And you can also change the easing style. Remember, what if we want this to bounce? Okay, well now we just have to set that to bounce, and boing. And it's bouncing. All right, guys. Well, hopefully by now you've really liked the video, you've understood something, you've learned Tween Service, and you've liked the video, and you've also subscribed. So if you haven't subscribed, please make sure to subscribe, and hopefully you like everything that you see here, and I will see you in the next video. And you've done an awesome job today looking at this video, watching the whole thing, and learning this thing called Tween Service. I want you to just play around with this, get familiar with it, and yeah, I'll see you in the next video.